I'm on my I'm on my own, broken and alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost.
Join us in the heart of personal transformation with Level Up Circle TV, your exclusive gateway to unlocking your inner potential and achieving extraordinary results. This TV show is your secret weapon for personal and professional development, packed with valuable insights, expert advice, and real-life success stories. Are you ready to take the leap and transform your life? Don't just watch, participate. Tune in, take notes, and then take action. The journey to your greatest self starts here. So, get inspired, get motivated, and get ready to level up. Join us and let's embark on this transformative adventure together. Click that remote and let's start making your dreams a reality. Hello, everyone. Welcome. So, my mission is to level up the world through education. And today's guest is Dr. Trung. And we are going to be discussing using mindfulness as a tool for clarity to redefine your vision so you can see clearly what your mission is, right? And the two tools that she's going to provide us today is going to be mantra communication and mindful communication. All right. So, welcome everybody. My setup is kind of different today. So, thank you so much for being here, and I appreciate you so much. So, I wanted to also, I posted, I think yesterday, if you're on my LinkedIn land, if you're not, just look me up. Basically, if you type Constance Leland on Google, I should come up. The first one, it should be LinkedIn, or maybe the college that I work for. But I wanted to address the StreamYard because a lot of people are like, well, why do you have the StreamYard? It's because I am an affiliate with them and so is Dub. And I'm actually going to be teaching a class. And it's starting December, if you guys are interested, between just December and January, maybe January. I'm gathering more information, but a lot of people use StreamYard or Restream, right? That's a platform that you use so you can be on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. And I wanted to let you know that I am a StreamYard insider. What does that mean? It's a group within StreamYard who uses StreamYard. And I'm going to be teaching you a class in terms of its functionality, its technicality, the things that you can actually do within StreamYard, some of the limitations, and some of the pros and cons, right? There's always pros and cons, and why I use StreamYard. And so I wanted to bring that out. I am putting the class as the holiday sale for December to $99. And It will be video class and actually it'll be a workshop class where I teach you right there and then. So it's probably going to be around 2 hours, and the date's going to be towards the end of December. So if you want to sign up, let me know. I haven't put the sign up sheet, but there is a, if you go to my website, luabyDocLeland.com, you can actually sign up on there. And you're probably wondering, well, I don't use StreamYard. I'm never going to use it. Well, if you are live streaming or if you want to live stream, you want to do it the right way, not something where you just research and put together and that's that. There's a lot of things behind the scenes, the marketing, the graphics. I will go over that in the class for 2 hours. So let me know if you are interested, or go to my website, luabyDocLeland.com. Actually, LevelUpWithDoc.com, I believe, has um, the information in terms of the sign up. Okay. Other than that, today we're going to talk about, sometimes when people talk to you and they have good intentions, but somehow it offends you anyway. I'm getting sick and tired of, oh my gosh, I was intending to be nice, or oh my gosh, it was intended to be good, but the outcome was not very good anyway. It's time to take accountability for our own words. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I probably do that too. More likely I have done in the past. And I think part of leveling up and part of growing up as people is to look at our weakness and improve on it, right? And we give each other grace because we know we make mistakes. But your ability to level up yourself and educate yourself on, yes, you have good intentions, and yes, your message is coming across well, is our game, our goal, game in life. Our goal today is to have those tools. There's a lot of tools out there, but today we're going to focus on at least two tools with Dr. New on how you can communicate with people and be mindful of not only your message, but your tone, right? Because everyone usually wants to help other people, but it's your tone and how you communicate usually is the cause or the root cause of miscommunication or problems. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So join me as I will introduce to you Dr. New. So we embark on a transformative journey, right, to discover our professional clarity with the powerful tools of mantra communication and mindful communication. And by weaving the mindfulness into the fabric of your daily life, you can reduce your stress, but redefine your vision so that you can gain crystal clear insights into what your mission is. My mission is to level up the world through education. That doesn't mean I can't change the way I communicate, right? So let's look at the tools today and let's look at what she does. So let me introduce to you Dr. New before I bring her in. She wants to embark on a transformative journey. She's a seasoned functional medicine, holistic practitioner, an influencer figure in various esteem initiatives. She has a lot of things going on, right? She has over 13 years of industry expertise. Her path from clinical pharmacy to thriving entrepreneur is a testament to her transformative power of awareness and mindfulness meditation. She's driven by her own experiences, and Dr. Chong is committed to guiding us, you and I, towards health aspirations. She's an advocate, a mentor, a business development partner. She's also an author. She enriches her journey with a culture of intention, purpose, and well being. So, why don't you join her and I unlocking your true potential by embracing the present moment, right here, right now, and crafting a life radiating with positivity and fulfillment. Okay, so if you want to connect with Dr. New, feel free. I'll put all of her information in a minute. But why don't we welcome her in our presence? Are you guys ready? I don't know if she is ready. It doesn't look like she might be ready right now. But in terms of people right now that I want to highlight, in our space. Let me take a look at our live chat here. Who is in here? Hello, sister. Oh, Sister Susanna has a book. Well, I should say books. She's an author. She has multiple books. So go to Amazon.com and you will actually see her books in there. Search for the Armor of God is the first one. And then she has a new one coming up. So please go ahead and support her. We support each other on our journey. Let me see if I can get that QR code. This one right here, the QR code, the Armor of God. Search for the Armor of God. If you go ahead and scan that, it goes directly to my sister's book. It's you can buy it through Kindle or you can buy it through the paper book. Okay, so that is what. And then I'm going to give you this, which is TV Circle. It is a LevelUpDocom, and you will see in there where to buy the class that I'm talking about. Let me see if I can pull it up. Actually, hold on one second. Uh, it will be under courses available. Hold on one second. Yep. And then if you wanted to be sponsor on the show, you can. If you wanted to be on the show, you can. Let me see if I can share my screen. There's a lot going on that screen, but it's this one right now. Hold on one second. Okay, so it's this screen. And if you go to levelupwithdoc.com, it will be redirected here. Go to courses available. My masterclass for mastering your solopreneur. This has YouTube. This has how to increase your YouTube subscribers, and then how to do podcasting, how to be on LinkedIn in terms of, getting your resume downloaded, getting your QR code for LinkedIn, all of that good stuff is also in here. And then how to create a podcast and disseminate it to distribution channels is part of that class as well. And then I am going to be creating class for website creation using WordPress. I'm also going to have an introduce to you my invite only for now community that is membership, and how to create your own swag, right, for your own company. And then this class right now is brand new, so you could be ready for 2024, how to use StreamYard class. And again, this is a 2-hour webinar class. It's hands-on, so you'll get to see everything that I have to show you right there and then 2 hours. Okay. And then, of course, again, I am a StreamYard insider. That means I'm not just an affiliate, but I'm in there with the StreamYard people. So if you have any requests, we can actually communicate with them directly and see what's happening. Any questions, let me know. And let's see. Let me see. I'm getting a text. Yes. I know I'm doing text on my live. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything in here if you guys not hear me or not. So that is what the Level Up Circle TV is about. Okay. So that is what I'm going to take out. I'm going to hide that from our stream. And then I also wanted to say hello to our other dear sister, Crystal. Good morning. How are you doing? How's work? I haven't talked to you in a couple of days, maybe even a couple of weeks now. Hopefully, you're doing great. And hello, sister. She's like, hi, sister Susanna. And I wanted to see what happened to Dr. New. She was here and then she was gone again. So let's go ahead and wait for her. But while we're waiting, I'm going to be talking to you about mindful communication from my end, right? How do you do mindful communication? Here's a tip for people who are small business owners, especially if you get a DM from people and they come into your DM and said, hey, do you want to do a project? These are the two approaches that I've seen so far. Do you want to do a project together? I'm a sucker for projects. And so I said, sure. But I am busy. So, can you give me a synopsis of your project? What it does it entail? What is the outcome that you're trying to do? Is there monetary value in it? I just asked that because I want to see the expectations, right? I do free projects a lot. I also do monetary projects. So I wanted to know that, and also who's in this project, and how I can help, right? I had three so far in DMs that the project is actually not a project. It is actually they want to be on the show, which I'm okay with because I on my Wednesdays it's free. But here's the thing: when you start with your communication of a project and then you want to be on the show, you're already creating a wedge right there and then. That's distrust, right? You need to be honest at the very front of what you want from people, especially the people you don't know. Tip number two: if you don't know somebody and you want to be on their podcast, don't approach them with projects. Also, don't approach them by saying, I expect you to. Those words are cringy to me. You shouldn't expect anything from anyone, right? Because expectations will only lead you to disappointment. So, what I would want you guys to do is to make sure that when you approach a project, or not approach a project, approach a person that you want to work with, to make sure that you are upfront with what you want. Secondly, is um, don't demand on people that you don't know on what you actually want to do. Okay, so that's my tip number two for LinkedIn. And three, tip number four is be mindful of how you come across. Like, I understand we have a lot of international friends, and so the way you've been taught on how to approach somebody on LinkedIn has always been, hey, I'm going to tell you what I do, and then maybe you and I can collaborate. I think you should get to know people first, especially the people that you want to work with in projects, whether it's a short project or a long project, or you want to be an affiliate with people, right? So you need to be mindful of those to create a bridge so that your friendship starts very strong at the very beginning. So, another thing is have a coffee chat, guys. It's just 15 minutes. You only need 15 minutes for your coffee chats, and you don't need more than that, right? Just to get to know people, what they're all about. And in that 15 minutes, leave room for at least 30 to an hour, just in case you like the conversation and you can keep it moving forward, right? I always give people 15 minutes to make sure that that's what they wanted to do. It looks like Dr. Trong is back. Hopefully, she's able to turn on her video, um, and audio is good. We're having some technical difficulties on her end, but no worries. Tip number five: when you communicate with people, don't be passive aggressive. Don't be like nice one day and then like get in your face kind of the next time, right? Um, I understand life happens and there's a lot of pressures. I'm not the one person that would listen to gossip and then just go with people's gossip, but I am the one that will let you know how you make me feel. Sometimes I don't DM you or communicate with you. It's because I just don't feel like that's a good vibe at that moment, right? Because you're dealing with a lot. And so be mindful on how you approach people, even if they are your friends, because they're also human being and they can have issues with how you approach them, right? A lot of people are having depression, anxiety. During winter, we usually have that. The weather does not help, okay? And so that's why. I'm hoping that Dr. New is able to come in now. So let's see. Looks like she's here. So let's bring her up. Sister, are you able to turn on your video?
My goodness, why? It's on. Everything's on. You're not able to see me?
No, I don't see the video. Are you on your phone or computer?
Phone. Should I be on computer?
Yeah. The
Oh,
video on your phone is not on either. So let's see. There you are.
Mhm. Let's see. Weird. Not sure what's
Okay, I
going
could see you.
on.
No worries. No
But
worries.
are
I
you
know. I'm
able
like, where
to?
did you go?
Yeah.
We just go with the flow, sister. So let's talk about. We introduce you to our um, audience, right? You're a pharmacist, and you actually are doing both pharmacy and also being an entrepreneur. I wanted to go get to the heart of why is mindful communication important not just for business but for personal.
Thank you for having me. It's honor. Not only I am honored to be in your presence, along with so many people around the world are listening to us right now. Dr. Constance Leland, which I call her my sis, and it's really one thing. I think as we go through life, one of the most precious things that we have is being in the moment, being mindful of the gift of itself is being alive. And we all as a living testament of what really truly, when we are fully embraced and really be grateful and be mindful of all the things that are around you. And the smallest thing will make you want to do more for yourself and others. And I think it's just starting with little things will also propel you to do great things in business. But like when we talk about a lot of things, it's just it start with small. When people think, oh, why is making up your bed is so important, right? It's really is about your integrity and what you stand for. It's not about the small things, but if the smallest thing we can't even do, how can we do a bigger things, right? So I think that philosophy it has to be within us for us to really carry on in business and around us, for us to even have a meal, a simple meal, whether we made it, we went to the groceries, or we homegrown the fruits and vegetables. But all the blessing is we can't do it all. We have all the so many amazing people that are around the world not only grow the crops, the vegetables, and if you eat meat or whatever, it's the whole process. Look at how many, imagine the process it would take for us to even have a meal, right? So even just that, being thankful for the people involved, but the people closer to you, and I think that will make you, it's just your heart desire to do much more for others because we see our blessing.
I'm so glad that you are the type of person like the more I get to know you and the more we actually talk on the phone about when in trying times there are times where people communicate with us and the message that they're sending is that wrong vibration, right? It doesn't kind of align with what we want. It's in that moment right there, that split second, that everything can go wrong, but yet you choose the path of calmness. How do you do that? Not a lot of people can do that, by the way. When I was young, I'd blow off, right? But now I can see it and I have a little bit of self control when people wrong me. And I'm like, okay, CJ, that's really not what the outcome you want. Because I think our easy response, right, is to when someone hurt us, we hurt them back. But you, I've seen
Mhm.
you, when someone basically communicate with you and everyone can tell that it was that cringe feeling that you get, instead of you saying hurtful things back, you choose the path of what you're trying to teach others, which is be mindful of how you communicate. How do you do that?
um so what are the things that has really made me who I am, not only my journey and as people who get to know, it's when people say I've been there and I've seen the transformation. It doesn't take, it's not a one night to say, oh, I'm giving you all the tools, and people can give you all the tools. But you have to be, first is open mind, right? You have to be open mind to willing to try to trust the process, to go with the flow. And even if you don't see the result yet, right? For instance, when you're in it for a higher purpose, you're not going to see, like when we started out to do any business, we're not going to make money, right? We're losing money. We're putting a lot of time and effort, and that's money, that we are putting ourselves. But I think when you have the mentality of, first is being grateful and a blessing, and then start that with a daily. Once you become grateful, and whether you do prayers, whether you do manifestations, whether you believe in the power of the higher divine, but when you are open to the laws of even the universe, if whatever you give out is much more, meaning, let's say, I know you're sick and I want to give you that energy of healings. So, and not only to pray for you, but I want to give my prayers and my thoughts for healing for those who are around the world who are struggling with their health. When you give that energy and that love, and you want to do much more, not just for your loved one in your circle, outside, and even people who harmed you, when you have that passion and that love, and it's pure, not with any incentive, the universe will bring you miracles that will come through in many folds. But you don't see it because it's not coming back like, oh, I'm praying for you, sis. It doesn't come back directly to A to B person, but it could be somebody else coming back. So with that, is it has to start with us, because when you are open mind to receive and you trust the process and believe in it, even if you don't see the success, you go through the motion, and then once you have a little moments to really reflect, you will see the miracles in all that you do. It has that a ripple effect that is amazing, how in our own circle we can amplify our voice and what we wish in our prayers. And that is the miracle that I think in this age more than ever we need, that more people to have more loving kindness and more compassion for one another. Just humanity, if we were to treat one another like brother and sister, like our mother. If we were in the hospital, even if they're not our blood, but if we were to sincerely wish and pray for them like our own blood family, what would it be like, right? What would the society of the world would be like when you don't have that separation? Oh, you're not my blood sister. Oh, you're not so and so. Oh, you're not, you're not Christian, you're not Buddhist, or you, whatever you are. I think we all need to kind of that labels that we choose to, whether we claim it's either superior versus, oh, I'm more. That is where I think when we put that down and put all that, that is the root of the ego. Ego is like, I am superior, I am a leader. But a leader needs to do all the things and walk the talk, right? Not just, I'm sitting up here and you sweep the floor. No, a leader can go and sweep the floor. And I think when you have that mentality and you're willing to understand and be there with your people will understand. It's not about you having a mission that has in your website, but if you're not breathing it, you're not carried on daily to your employees, to your clients every day. Every interaction shows who you are, right? And I think people, whether they think that wearing a mask and just manipulate and making quick monies and deceive people is I pray for those who are out there who are like that. And I've gone through my shares of people who come to our path, and I still believe that those are the one that we need to pray more, because the one that are doing good in the world, you know, yes, we praise and we thank them and we pray for them so they can live long, so they can carry on, and help others. But really the one that needs our prayers most is the one that are lost, are not really knowing what their inner calling, right? Their purpose in life, because life is so short. We're never guaranteed tomorrow. So one of the things, I think people want to realize is, how can I be a different if we want to have a wake up call? Is, what if the doctors say today you have 3 months to live, right? Or today you have, 9 months, however X amount. What would you do? Would your life turn around? Would you do things differently? And I think it's having that, really pausing a moment and saying, how would you want to be remembered? Right? It's not about our title and our career and all the fancy house and all the things, the title and the likes and impressions, right? But it's, at the end of the day, how do you make someone feel, not only the impact that you carry afterward? The changes of the life is, they feel empowered, they feel inspired, they change because they find hope, they find love, that there is someone who care enough to pay attention to them, even if they're nobody. I have a gentleman across the world who say, oh, I'm just a like a trash man. But no, he is wonderful. It's not about, I said, I thank you for all you do. It's not about, even if you're the president versus a trash man, you are all equal. Both are equal, because we need everyone to contribute to a world that we live in a better world. Everyone contribute to something much more, and the impact that you live now is the legacy you leaving. It's not the moment you're gonna die and what people. It's every moment that we really are being in the present and able to share what we've gone through and help others out. So people can kind of wake up and say, maybe that is my awakening moment. Maybe that is my enlighten during this time. And it's sis, you've seen some of the people who are successful, right? You've seen
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, but see, some of the successful people are very cutthroat. I've seen them. I've seen people who are billionaires who are very cutthroat, and there's the most unhappy people ever because all they think about is money. How do I make money more? How do I multiply it 10 times? How do I multiply it 20 times? And they've lived their life all that way. I'm glad that you said what you said about, and it brings back memories when a doctor did tell me, hey, it was April, and they told me, hey, December, you're expired.
Bless you.
Excuse me. And at that moment, excuse me, you feel like the world stops for a moment and said, I'm sorry, what? I had to reflect on like, what have I done? Nothing really. And then my mom's like, keep reminding me at that time, like, you have volunteered, you have mentored, and I'm like, Mom, I'm only in my 30s. Like, I could die now. And I have my kids were small then. Um, it didn't really change me as a person. In fact, it amplified me as a person. My efforts were, I mean, I was doing mentorship internationally then. I always have. I have a passion for helping others and connecting people, whether I make a difference on people's lives or not, which I have not taken counts, but I have numerous counts that people like, hey, Dr. Leland, you have changed my life this way. And it fills my heart. I just don't count them like, oh, I have, 10 people I help. I don't count them. I just, whatever that's in my peripheral right now that I talk about. But throughout the years, I've always been that way. And you're right. When you are intentional about giving to others, and you don't have any expectations, things actually manifest in your life in a positive vibration. The reason for that, there's actually a scientific reason for that. It's because you're in that moment of energy, because we are energy being. This body expired any day. The heart and your soul will always continue. That legacy is, like you said, is made today for the future. And whether you take account in your legacy through a book, through an audio, through to TV, um, it matters to the people who are willing to listen. There are 8 billion people. There's no way there's competition in everything that you're doing. But what I want people to compete in, and I always tell you, don't compete with anyone. What I want people to compete in is kindness and compassion, right? Kindness and compassion, because when people are so vile and they send messages and they are cruel with some of their messages, but then you have to look at yourself and said, you know what? I'm actually lucky and grateful that that message came through because I have a choice. I can choose to be vile back, or I could choose to be kind, because what you said is the people who needs us the most are the people who are actually hurting, whose messages are vile and you know what I mean, negative. And you're right. And so my next question to you is, in what ways does incorporating mindfulness into our communication enhances our ability to navigate challenging conversations with empathy and clarity? I have to be mindful sometimes because it's not an ego thing for me, it's a temper thing. I have to like get my temperature down. Like, CJ, you're not 20, okay? Just calm down, sister. Thank God for Susanna. Let me tell you, 6 o'clock. Are you awake? 7:30. Are you awake? She's like, yes. Um, because she's very neutral, when I have a conversation with her and she tells me like, well, instead of telling me, sister, you're wrong, she has an opinion and she has a way of telling me like, well, how about think like this? And that's the person that you need the most, is somebody who tells you um, that you're wrong in a different way, because I think our brain is triggered on certain words, right? When we hear certain words, it triggers us to react. And emotional intelligence, when I am upset, goes down to crap. Literally, I'm a 2-year old. And I was like, okay, don't have a tantrum, CJ. Please don't have a tantrum. So I have a lot of like little things in my office, and now I know why, because I have ADHD, and I'm literally fidgeting when I'm upset. I'm like, oh my gosh, like seriously. And my girlfriend's like, what are you doing? I was like, nothing. I'm just because my energy is so, I have so much energy, but because of my current being that I'm upset and I'm angry, I don't want to give that negative vibe and energy to people. So I exit my energy by fidgeting. Like I'm like just gonna fidget here. So how do you navigate to this conversation with empathy and clarity, sister? Help me out.
So I think and one of the things that as like Rosa Parks, the back when we think about Gandhi and Mother Teresa, when they often talks about he who talks more loses, right? So one of the thing I think as we really embody mindful is not only putting on our judgment of our own journeys, our own experience, but how about we just listen and to kind of be aware around on what's going on? Because one of the thing I think is we do tend to like, "Oh, well, I got this, and we like to give advice, right? When let's say you come to a girlfriend who tells you, oh, I'm having struggle and this and that, you like to automatically say, well, it's your fault, right, that you put yourself in that position, that you chose that because it's not the same time, it may be many times, but sometimes there is a reason why they keep doing it. Maybe they want to give people a chance, right? Want to be surrounded by someone, and but with that, sometimes I think it's you have to know where you are at the moment of time, meaning your strength, right? Because at the moment, let's say if you know you're not ready to be in that position to be calm and be tested with all the things that are thrown at you when you're trying to do positive, if you don't have it ready, then you can't be surrounded in that environment. So that's why when we tend to always say you need to be surrounded with like-minded individual who will lift you up and inspire you, because only the saint and the one who really really, I mean, there's a lot of angels and saints out there that are living, but how many of us can really be in, throwing you in the muddy and say thank you for giving me that muddy bath, or I don't have a home to live. I'm homeless because you screwed me up. You robbed me and da da da. So I think it's not many people can appreciate, but if you appreciate that your being of existence and your mirror of what you are called to do, it's not about the roof that we put in our, it's the vehicle, it's the tools to get us there, right? And I think for us, we kind of lose the the why, because sometimes when a lot of things in the social media is, oh, you're so successful, you need this house, this fancy, and it's more of a show off. But then at the end of the day, are you feeling fulfilled, like inside? It's not about what's outside you have, but really, if you rest your eyes and you lay down, would you be content? Would you be happy with what you have done on this moment in time that you have on this earth? And whether we are 20, whether we are 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, I think the moment that we have another day is a blessing, that we take it as a gratitude. For us to have all the people in our life, start thinking of, don't think of the negative, because when you think of a negative, you always will have negative in someone, right? So I think that will change your perspective on how you want to communicate. When we see a problem, first is not interject and put advice first. If they ask for advice, then you can then say, this is something I would do if it's under my circumstances, right? Not what you should do. I think it's something that we have to be mindful of how we want to come across as being thoughtful, because sometimes it comes down as, why aren't you better yourself? Why, we have an opportunity to educate and go through the system, but the system sometimes is against us, right? We all know that, because like for most of us, when we go to school, when we don't have the money and the funds, we have to take out loans, right? And when after you get out, you have to pay a lot of debts. So the really the system, but then the people who, let's say, don't want to work and feed off on the system, right? And just on welfare and all that, and not really wanting to work hard, and we're paying the higher tax bracket. But if we look at the negative, there will be always people who look to deceive the system, right? Or the system will always work against you. But I really truly believe that it's not about what the tools and the system and all that. We have to be owning to our responsibility, right? We have to own up to saying, if I say I'm not happy because I don't have X amount in my bank, or if I don't have, my work is not expanding enough, I need to expand more locations. You got to really question, what is your motive, right? What is your motivation, intentions on doing the things that you are doing? Is it aligning to your values? Does it align to your purpose? Does it really go back to who you are? Because no matter what business we are align ourselves with, it has to also speak back to us on who we are, what we stand for. And I think most of the time, people tend to go into business to make quick money, right? When you're saying a lot of people make lots of money successful, but it doesn't really align to their soul, to really being joyful. And they get up and say, I'm so excited, to wake up and be around like-minded, that have a heart to serve and wants to make an impact to the world, versus just making money. I think by the end of the day, if we all lay down and we're like, okay, are you gonna carry all that fancy house and all the money, the millionaire and billionaire? I guarantee you, because I think because our society is like, we work, we pass it on to our next generation. But I really want to challenge that every single one, even for me, I think it's not about how you raise your kid. And I'm a parent of two. So I know it's not about just what you leave behind. It's not about the money, but it's about the ethical. It's about what you taught them, how to deal with when it's challenging time, when it's emotional triggers, when someone passed away, when someone let you go. So what are the things that you're able to help them go through life? That is more important than giving them a bunch of money, because money, yes, they can invest, but they can also spend it all. And that's not a way to really, because you can have billions and millions and you can waste it all, right? You can hit on a stock and all gone. But what you carry with you, when, because I believe in karma, that not only this life but our next lifetimes on this earth or wherever you want to be or wherever you will be, is what you cultivate today. So when you cultivate, when people will say the seeds that you plant now is the trees for tomorrow. So all that is like, we have to be able to be really mindful of how we pass on, because that has an effect on others, right? Because when we say negative things, it hurts other people, even though our intentions are good. We don't mean it that way because we grew up in that environment, right? And we thought that's normal. I'm just going to be as blunt as who I am. But that might put someone in a different position. So I think bridging with love and kindness, and really when they're not that type, either you stay away from those that are not aligned with you, or you show of who you are, meaning just be you, and don't have to in a way to show them, to really say, I'm going to show you who I am. You don't need to show and you don't need to justify, right? You just need to be you, because only the higher divine and you are responsible, because the higher divine knows what you're doing, every action, no matter what we
As a
think we are.
reaction.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that because, like I said on my post too on LinkedIn, is that when people talk about I have good intentions, it's just who I am. Sometimes who you are can offend people because of the way you communicate, right? And it's about communication. And people also think that communication is saying things. Not
Mhm.
necessarily. Cold shoulder and silence is a huge communication. When someone gives you a cold shoulder or silence, take it as they don't want to be with you right now. Don't push the subject, right? We are towards the end of our conversation, we literally. So I'm gonna actually put this in from this conversation and what you're giving us today. I got all of these. So I say for me, active listening. So being mindful living is about active listening. Listen, not with intentions. Really close your eyes and listen to what they're trying to say. And don't inject your response brain. Because every time you see and hear the word, you're like, what should I say? How am I going to respond? We do it, right? Stop. Empty your brain for a minute and do active listening. Open mindedness, right? Even if you don't know the person and you something you don't like, and I have to practice this sometimes, to be open minded because you never know what are the possibilities with that person. Mindful breathing, right? Like Paula Neff actually was we were talking about that is how do you do mindful breathing even for 10 seconds is to close your eyes and focus on your breathing, how you breathe in, how you breathe out, and just empty your mind. I love that. Nonviolent communication. I need to practice that because when I'm mad, just curse words out the door flying. Um, Definitely nonviolent communication, guys. Empathy and of course mindful speech. So, sister, we got about a minute. Can you give us last advice on how we can do mindful living through communication?
One other thing, I don't know if those who practice or not, if they're open to, I would want to share this powerful mantra that is will give you more wisdom and compassion, right? So that is to yourself and others. And so on your daily practice, if you just really, with right intentions, and whether it's the morning, the first thing you wake up before you go on the phones, and really, have the gratitude of that you being here in this moment and surrounded by all the loved ones, and really have that sincere of, may I have more compassion, may I have more wisdom to be able to continue to do the works, that you want to wish upon, whatever your wish are, and just say, Om Mani Padme Hum. That is Om Mani Padme Hum. I don't know if you heard of that, but it's OM, like OM, like OM, and then Padme, like PADME, Padme, and then hum, HUM, Omni Padme home. And then later on, I think one of the thing, it is something that is powerful if you believe in the power of it. And if you have a moment to, when you have anxiety, when you have stress, just deep breath, right? Through your nose, but exhale through your nose. Most of the time, people, when they do meditation, they say, just inhale the nose and breathe out through the mouth, but it's actually through your nose because your nose have all the follicles that will also clear all the toxin through the nose. That's talking about scientific. And when we talk about meditations, you should go deep breath in, but exhale out with your nose. And you will see all the pressure, and wherever your pressure points are that you have, you imagine that, and you put all that energy when you inhale and exhale. And that mantra alone will also give you, it's not only you and your family in that circle. When you practice, you will see the things that unfold. It will give you the things that you need more, and it helps you to have more compassion for yourself and others, and to have more wisdom for yourself and others. And that's powerful because that alone will give you a lot of clarity, right? In our day to day mindful living on just simple things. Take a little.
Wow, I love that. I'm gonna have to write that down for sure. And thank you so much. So, you guys, if you want to connect with Dr. New, it's right here on your phone, and go ahead and just look that up, and that will be her LinkedIn. I know you're like,
I was
where is
like,
it?
where?
Up here.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, there. Because I'm pointing this way, but it's actually this way.
Yeah, it's this way. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Dr. New. We definitely have to have you back again. Maybe we'll have a 15 or 5 minute meditation to start with next time, to get us aligned where we need to be, right? You guys are already full of information as it is, so why not practice what we preach on TV? So next time we will have you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Dr. New.
Thank you, sis, and thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye
Stay
bye.
in. I will be right there. Guys, thank you guys so much for joining us. Please go ahead and connect with my sister. She has a lot in her toolbox. We have a lot of collaboration coming in. So see you next Thursday. Bye, everyone.